The third big claim that Republicans are bashing Mamdani about is that he is a racist, that Mamdani wants to pretty much enact a white people tax. And that is, again, a misrepresentation, an exaggeration, a lie. Now, if you're asking what does he actually want to do? Well, he wants to have a tax policy proposal that raises the property taxes in richer and whiter neighborhoods. And yes, that was his phrasing exactly. And of course, Republicans asked him, why did he bring up race? What does race have to do? What does white people have to do with this? Why are you targeting white people? Ben Shapiro was like calling him a racist and saying that's illegal and unconstitutional to do. Classic Ben Shapiro to over-exaggerate. But the only thing Mamdani was actually proposing here is that certain neighborhoods that do have a wealthier and oftentimes a wider area, that they actually pay taxes relative to their property value instead of working class neighborhoods, which are often, just Black and Latinos that make less money, are paying way more in their property taxes, and that's a disproportionate share. But to just point that out, I don't think is inherently racist. Now, in my opinion, Mamdani probably did make a mistake in specifically calling out these white neighborhoods, especially knowing that the media would run with it the way they would. The truth is, if you want to go against, wealth inequality, you can do that. But the minute you bring race into it, that could get complicated. Even though a lot of New Yorkers are Black and Latino, and even a lot of the white New Yorkers that voted for Mamdani are actually going to be in pro of this kind of taxation, even though he says things like, taxing white neighborhoods, the people that voted for Mamdani are actually going to be in favor of that. So I don't think he lost any voters there. But I think my point is just, I don't think that makes him a racist, hates white people, or that he wants to target them in a very unfair way. No, he's simply saying that, hey, if you live in these neighborhoods that make a lot of money, we're going to tax you. You just so happen to be whiter. Because the truth is, there are not that many white people in the Bronx. There is not that many white people in Brooklyn. Well, some neighborhoods. And there's not that many white people in Queens. Well, maybe Astoria. But that's the point, There are areas of white people that are very concentrated, and those areas make so much more money than other places in New York City. And I guess you can call it a white people tax if you want, but that's what Mamdani meant by it. And so I think calling him a racist is a little bit disingenuous, especially from the party that likes to always critique things about race and bring stats into it. Just because there's a correlation between wealth and race